welcome to the deep dive. Today, we've got a fascinating set of sources. They look kind of whimsical on the surface, maybe, but actually, underneath, they've got some seriously concentrated, actionable insights on, organizational management, collaboration, and just how hard it is to scale things up.
Yeah, it's surprisingly rich.
Exactly. So we're going to cut through the fluff today and get those clear takeaways straight to you.
That's the plan. Our main source material today describes something called Mayor Moo's Blossomville Teamwork Festival.
Right.
And our mission, really, is to treat this as a proper case study. We're looking past the storybook feel to pull out let's say, the hard data on team structure, the risks of, purely centralized leadership, and what good collaboration actually looks like on the ground.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The leader here is Mayor Moo. Polite cow, loves bow ties, big on flowers and festivals.
Classic.
And this year, the goal was huge. The annual Blossomville Flower Festival. She apparently declared it was going to be the biggest event yet.
Right. And that's textbook, isn't it? An ambitious goal that just completely overwhelms the existing setup or capacity.
Definitely.
So that gives us our core question for you, the listener. What specific transferable lessons can leaders and managers take from Mayor Moo's, frankly, spectacular initial failure? And then what principles really drove her later success when she shifted to a collaborative model?
Okay, let's start with the chaos then. Let's unpack that. Mayor Moo, full of enthusiasm, basically decided she'd be the single point person for, everything.
Yeah.
Logistics, design, comms, the whole 9 yards. And this is where the story really shows the pitfalls of poor planning.
Oh, absolutely. The sources are really clear that trying to centralize control that much over something so complex logistically, it just resulted in an immediate meltdown.
How so?
Well, she didn't have the specialized skills needed, so you saw systemic failures pop up everywhere instantly.
Okay, tell us about some specifics. Like, what were the first signs her one-cow show approach just wasn't working?
Well, the failures were very visual, very immediate. You had, for instance, the aesthetic side collapsing. The source says the daisies were dancing away in the wind.
Okay, so just not secured properly.
Exactly. Which points straight to needing, dedicated teams for setup, for tactical execution. But hold on, before we even get to the fix, there's the communication breakdown. That might be even more critical for leaders to look at.
Ah, you mean the bees. I saw that in the notes.
Yes, the bees. The source notes this honestly hilarious but really telling detail.
No.
The bees thought the festival flyers were snacks.
Wow.
That just screams, a lack of understanding of the audience, or maybe all the audiences involved, and a failure in getting the message out effectively.
So the main audience, the visitors, might have got the flyers.
Maybe. But these other crucial stakeholders, the pollinators in this case, they were basically treated like a nuisance instead of, a key part of the whole ecosystem needing specific handling.
That's actually a brilliant metaphor. Overlooking key operational players because you assume one standard message works for everyone. Centralization just blinded her, didn't it?
Completely. Blinded her to the diverse needs within her own environment.
Okay, so Mayor Moo is standing there, tangled tulips, daisies blowing away, bees munching on her flyers. What did she do? What was the key management decision?
She stopped. That's the thing. She just stopped pushing through the chaos. She abandoned the maybe ego-driven solo approach and simply asked for help. And that single decision, recognizing she needed delegation, not just more of her own effort, that's the lesson here. It precedes everything else that went right. She didn't just try to tweak the system, she fundamentally changed the structure.
Okay, and what's fascinating then is who she asked, right? The team she put together.
Right.
She didn't just ask for generic helpers.
Exactly. What's fascinating here is how quickly she moved to specialization. Skill diversity. Look at the team she brought in. Penelope Pig took over decorations. Right there, you have an aesthetics specialist.
Okay.
That immediately takes a huge burden off of Moo.
Okay, makes sense.
Then Benny Bunny bounced in with baskets, solved the whole supply chain inventory management issue, the tangled tulips problem.
Got it. Baskets for organization. And we absolutely have to talk about Gloria Goat.
Ah, Gloria.
Her job was crucial. Communication, branding, painting signs. But the source specifically says she painted them mostly on herself.
Laughs slightly. Yes, it does.
Now, in most places, that sounds like an HR problem waiting to happen, right?
It really does. And that brings up such an important point. In a typical corporate setting, the instinct would be, okay, enforce a strict procedure. Make Gloria paint neatly, use these brushes, follow this template.
Right, standard operating procedure, yeah.
But Mayor Moo did the opposite. She basically used Gloria's output anyway. She accepted this kind of messy, non-linear process because it still delivered what was needed.
The signs got painted.
The signs got painted. And the implication is huge. It wasn't about forcing everyone to behave the same way. It was about accepting a unique, maybe slightly chaotic method that still got the job done.
How many organizations, you have to wonder, discard a Gloria goat because their process looks messy, even if the result is actually effective?
It's a core challenge in managing talent, managing real diversity. You sometimes have to tolerate the quirks that come with people who are really good at specific things. And the perfect example of how tolerating that can create unexpected value is the butterflies.
Right, the forgetful butterflies. They sounded like they were terrible with schedules, couldn't stick to the plan.
Yeah, if you measured them by traditional efficiency metrics like timeliness, they were probably, unreliable.
Okay.
When you integrated them, their collective sort of chaotic, unscheduled movement actually created something amazing and unexpected.
Yeah.
A glittery parade. That's almost textbook emergent behavior, right? The system creating value that rigid, top-down planning could never have designed or predicted.
So if Mayor Moo had tried to, micromanage their flight packs, or made them clock in,
Yeah.
that inherent spectacle, that joy, that real asset would have just been stamped out.
Precisely. So the management lesson isn't just delegate. It's also about giving up just enough control to let useful, positive chaos emerge. Let it bloom, you could say.
Okay, I like that. Useful chaos.
And the source really hammers this home. It says the diversity and cooperation didn't just make the festival work again.
Right.
It made the whole thing more colorful. Every skill set, even the quirky ones, the messy painter, the disorganized butterflies, they all added real, tangible, memorable value once they were integrated properly.
Okay, so here's where the outcome gets really interesting, I think. The end result wasn't just, neat and tidy. It bloomed into a colorful, silly, joyful celebration. That suggests the whole definition of success actually changed, didn't it? From just getting it done to creating genuine engagement and atmosphere.
That shift is incredibly powerful. The sort of managed chaos, combined with everyone bringing their specialized passion and effort, it created this whole vibe. Music, people wearing flower hats, celebratory pollen confetti.
Pollen confetti.
Right. The success became experiential. It wasn't just about ticking boxes on a logistics checklist anymore.
And the one detail that perfectly sums up the new sort of organizational culture.
Let me guess.
The gnomes.
The giggling contest, judged by garden gnomes.
Yes. That detail alone, it just captures that shift, doesn't it? Away from this rigid, maybe fearful perfectionism towards embracing fun, even absurdity, as a valid measure of success.
It felt okay for things to be a bit silly.
Absolutely. And that willingness, the ability to incorporate silliness or maybe just imperfection into the final product, it speaks volumes about the psychological safety on that team.
Good point. When people feel safe enough to bring their messy ideas, like Gloria's painting, or to just be themselves, like the butterflies, the result is naturally going to feel more joyful, more authentic. It confirms that core wisdom from the source. It's okay when plans get silly.
And Mayor Moo, what was her reaction?
She saw this collective, joyful success, and the text says she mooed with pride.
But it wasn't pride in her original perfect vision succeeding, was it?
No, exactly. It seems like it was pride in the collective vision that emerged, the one that was messy and joyful and actually shared by everyone who contributed.
Okay. So, for the leaders listening right now, we need to boil this down. Synthesize these, frankly, quite counterintuitive takeaways from Blossomville.
Right. It goes beyond just saying, teamwork is good, which... okay, it is. But first, real collaboration seems to require strategically accepting specialization, even if it comes with nonlinear or messy processes.
Prioritize the outcome over a rigid process.
Exactly. And second, real organizational success, the kind that creates buzz and joy, might actually be found in cleverly integrating those seemingly inefficient or chaotic elements, your forgettable butterflies, because that's where unexpected value, that emergent sparkle, often comes from.
It's really about building a structure where diverse talents can actually thrive, even if some of those talents come with muddy hooves, as the source put it.
That final image is powerful, isn't it? The whole town celebrating friendship, teamwork, and being okay with the necessary messiness that comes with really working together.
Yeah.
So this really raises a crucial question for you, the listener, as you think about your next big project, your organization's own biggest event yet.
Okay.
How often do you find yourself trying to handle that kind of thing alone initially? Or insisting on really clean, rigid procedures for everyone involved? Maybe consider, when do you realize that asking for strategic help and actually accepting the inevitable muddy hooves or the messy processes that come with true collaboration, that maybe that's the quickest path to achieving genuine, sustainable pride in the outcome?
That's a great point. Look around your own team structure.
Exactly. Identify who your forgetful butterflies might be.
Mm-hmm.
Are you spending energy trying to control them into conforming? Or could you perhaps create the space for their unique, maybe slightly chaotic energy to generate something unexpectedly brilliant? Something to think about.